This is Dr. Dennis Kimbro telling everybody out there, hop onto that website, HBCU Mix. Take care.
We just kept going hard. We pretty much stayed focused, made some goals for ourselves, and had some dreams. And we said we're gonna do it on our own. A lot of people kind of like told us we couldn't do it. We had a lot of other established labels, at the time that wanted to sign us. Be it Bad Boy, be it Noontime Records or whomever it was at the time that wanted to sign us, and pretty much told us that we needed them, we couldn't do it on our own, but we stayed focused. And maybe like a year later, we had a little bit of one going and ended up doing a joint venture deal over at Atlantic Records, which was like a real great accomplishment because, like I said, everyone said, nah, you're not gonna do a joint venture nowhere, And a joint venture, if some of you guys don't know, in the music business is really like a 50-50 deal, So it's like, hey, the major label that you're joining up with, they put up the cost, and of course you got to recoup the cost first, and after you recoup the cost, you split the profits 50-50, as opposed to doing a deal where you just have a point structure. A point structure is, you may have 13, 14, 15 points maybe. Usually for production companies, what they'll do is give you a production deal. Therefore, they'll say, okay, cool, we're gonna put your logo on your music, but it's really a production deal. So therefore, you may only have 2 extra points for your production company. So in a scenario like that, you may have 16 points, 17 points tops, and you may take 2 points for your production company and give your artist 15 points. So usually that's really how it works. A lot of times people will say, oh, I got a label deal, but mostly 9 times out of 10, it's a production situation, which is a step towards getting where you want to be. But where you really want to be is being in a joint venture situation and having the opportunity to obtain your masters at some point. So we started with Atlantic rather on the JV. The first album we did over there was trap music, and we just went hard. For the most part, we did a bunch of albums. We did the soundtrack for Hustle and Flow, which was a good experience. And as we made money, the good thing for us was that it didn't come easy. So we had an opportunity to kind of like sit in the hungry room. Where some people, they put an album out or put a record out, pop off, they go do some shows, they start getting some money, and it might be over with real fast. Honestly, like it's a bunch of acts that were doing great, that it may be over for them now, and even more importantly, or more scary, is that they may not have really positioned themselves right because it happened so fast that they didn't even have an opportunity to have enough time to even think like, yo, this ain't gonna last forever, But with us, it was the opposite, being that it happened slow and being that we had to really work toward getting somewhere. We had plenty of time to think like, yo, when I do get some money, like when it does pop off, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. So for us, we really jumped into real estate real heavy. He started buying houses, I started buying houses, and just making different investments and stuff. Be it and different people's businesses that we may see around us or hear about or get introduced to, and say, hey, this is a nice business, to get into. Hey, I'm going to invest in. And I really believe I don't necessarily need 100% ownership in something, I believe in partnering up with people so I can do more things, and 20% of this, 25% of that, 50% of this, it all adds up, And just being diverse, not putting all your eggs in one basket. So at the end of the day, now we have a couple movie deals. We have a 3-picture movie deal with Screen Gem Films. I produced my first movie. We did the first one called Takers this past fall. This comes out in January, and we have a movie deal with New Line Films as well. But even other than that, we went into the music publishing business, which is definitely a great business. That's like the mechanics of the music business for real. So if you're a producer and you're a young dude and you may have potential, you know, pretty much what we'll do is invest in you, you know, sign you up early in your career before you even have a hit record, you know. If we really believe in you, sign you up, put you in position, you know, give you a little bit of money, and start investing in you and building you. And our whole thing is just long-term growth, you know. It's a lot of dudes that came out of the AU Center that are like, that I knew from when I was working at Patchwork in the studio, be it Brian Cox, be it, you know, like a lot of different producers that really came up, and they came up at a young age, but everything is investments, you know. Everything you have to put time into it for, you know, your investment to pay off. So that's basically my approach to the business. I invest in acts and producers that are young, knowing that it's probably not gonna pay off this year, you know, but 2-3 years from now, after really cultivating talent, it's gonna work out. So today we have a big roster. We have Killer Mike, who actually went to the AU Center for about a year himself.
Hot second, huh?
We have New Artist B.O.B. We have, of course, Big Country, Alpha Mega. Of course, we have a group called Mirage. They have a record on the radio right now called Trickin' If You Got It. We have, it's working. Who else do we have? We have, 8 Ball and G, you know, pretty legendary group, which was really exciting to sign a group like that, because, you know, it's really like, when I do business, I really think about the people that came before me and the people that's coming after me. You know, for real, just being that. The people that came before me, a lot of people really got, you know, they really might not have gotten the best deals in the world, just being that they were like the first ones to do it. You know, they didn't have anybody else necessarily before them in the hip hop business to kind of like help navigate them. You know, so to me that was pretty exciting to take a group that was one of the legendary founders of the whole hip hop scene in the South and really get behind them. So we're putting them out this year actually. And like I said, I look at the people that come after me as well, because for me, when I was trying to get into business, a lot of people didn't really want to help me, you know, in a sense, like people that I thought, you know, were I was cool with or what have you, but a lot of people really kind of like want to hide the information and make it seem like it's something impossible to do, you know, just to kind of like deter you from even trying to get into their territory. A lot of people have a mentality that there's not enough money for everybody, you know, which I definitely know is not true. You know, I believe in the philosophy of having allies and having someone that's just as strong as you on your level, as opposed to somebody that you gotta constantly help out. You know, you're not gonna necessarily be able to help me out if I gotta always help you out, you know. So I believe in building people up myself personally. So like I said, we're in the music publishing business and have a couple of acts signed up. Have a joint venture deal with Warren Chappell. Right now we have a few label deals. We have one with Atlantic Records. We just did Young LA over at Interscope, and we have a Ken Enrico Marino, who's Fantasia's brother, that we're doing over at Interscope as well. And we just literally just did a deal with LA Reid at Def Jam. Just recently, as of like a couple of days ago, just did a JV with LA Reid over at Def Jam, which is something that's also real valuable, I think, just like a life learned lesson, you know, like in most businesses, I'll say in every business and in life, you know, relationships are so important. You know, it's so important to maintain good relationships, because you never know when you're gonna run into a person again, when you're gonna need a person for something, or you know, just in business, you really should be emotional, you know. So a lot of people used to always say, oh, you know, LA did y'all wrong, you know, how you feel about it, this, that. But for us, you know, it was business. You know, he did what he had to do, and now it was up to us to do what we had to do, you know. And X amount of years later, it's like 8 years later, we meet back up, you know, and we're doing business together again, you know. So that's just a prime example of how life is. You know, a lot of times people take things so personal and walk away, you know, with ill feelings and saying different things and, you know, just feeling different ways and stuff. Whereas, you know, you just never know, man. Life is short, and relationships are like invaluable. You can't even put a price tag on certain relationships. a real dude told me one time, always be a gentleman in life, you know, and if you're a gentleman, everything will go right, you know, because you don't have to watch it. But I guess if you guys have any questions, we'll take some questions.